Hello and welcome back to Homeschool Together. Thank you for joining us. We are continuing on our journey through the solar system, and we have finally blasted off last week, and now we're off to the sun and the atmosphere and kind of getting an understanding of that.
Yeah. So the thought here is we obviously start with the sun since everything is going to revolve around the sun, but we want to talk about atmosphere this week because all the planets that we're then going to study, we're going to talk about whether they do or do not have an atmosphere, and if they do, what that means for the planet. So it's about different planets' temperatures and all that. So we have to introduce the concept of atmosphere. So we use the Earth's atmosphere as the way to, start talking about what that's like because it's something our kids can relate to.
We started that here in the space.
Yes, so the very first one, this is such a great book. The very first one we did, it has a wonderful spread about the sun. Yeah, so you can kind of show that without losing the other one. Great spread. This is such a fabulous book. I love the high quality images. They're just really captivating for our kids.
And then we went ahead and there was a nice spread about the Earth, the various levels of the Earth, and then the atmosphere.
Here's all the different parts of the atmosphere. So we really got to talk about that. We watched some videos on YouTube that talked more about the atmosphere. We also have the Life Cycles book, DK Life Cycles, and I actually forgot to bring it up here. But that's where you can...
We've talked about it in the past.
Right, and it talks about like water cycle and stuff, so you can learn a little bit because water or lack of water is going to be the other part that we're going to be talking about, especially when we get to Mars and how it does have polar ice caps, and we think there might have been flowing water before. So if you wanted to touch a little bit on water cycle, especially as that has to do with atmosphere as well, that would be great, and weather. Because especially places like Mars, and then we're getting to the gas giants and all of their weather.
Absolutely.
So if you want to kind of start there and give a good primer, it's a good place to start.
Sun, wife, you're one in a billion.
So all of these books, there's Sun, Earth, Moon, there's a bunch of them by Stacy McAnulty, and they're awesome. They're all really perfect for the early learners, your lower elementary kids. So if you have a lower elementary learner, these are absolutely the books to get. I think while books like this are great for the visuals, the language is just way too advanced. So it's great. I can show these to my first grader, and then we use this book, and she really understands quite a bit more.
That'd be a good book for the older learner, especially if you're doing any type of writing prompts or anything of that nature where you need them to do a little bit of reading on their own, maybe get a little bit of information, then translate that into their own thinking. Those type of books are great for that. So, Sun, one in a billion.
Yeah, I mean these are so good for the younger kids.
Destination Space, the Sun.
So this is better for you can go ahead and open it up.
Yeah.
And this has got lots more information. Still big writing, so still kind of good for your maybe early elementary, kind of, for second grade. Our daughter also really liked this one. There's lots of different books about the sun, but I think these were the ones that were better for younger kids because some of them get quite a bit detailed in their information.
Yeah, it's like how much do you want to tell about the photon factory? So, all right, the sun, shining star of the solar system.
This is a good one too, and there's a few different books in this series. They've got Earth, Moon, stars. There's a few different ones. But again,
this
was really fun.
Playful drawing, cute story.
Yeah, so these are all good. What we ended up doing and some of them, at some point, depends how, like these books we read them because they're a bit more of a narrative style, but then books like this, I'll just skip over some of the nonfiction stuff that we read in the last one. So if we read all about sunspots in one of these other books, then I'll just kind of skip it. But I tend to read these more narrative ones first, and then when I read the nonfiction, it's easier for me to snip out pieces that they already learned.
And if you're blending this curriculum as sort of your core curriculum, you're doing some ELA with it, you can get some early readers ready to read level 1, the sun.
So this was really good as far as how the sun behaves on Earth, and so there's a lot of good stuff that you learn from this one.
Simple reader, maybe not like early readers, just learning their phonics, maybe more of an emerging reader.
Yeah, when they say it's like level 1,
it's so all over the place.
Yeah, like our first grader can't read this book yet. But it was really great. We were able to give this to our older daughter. She read it. So I actually didn't read it, but they both said it was nice. So This is a great option. So those are all the kids' books that we read about the sun.
A little bit of art. So we went ahead and made the sun.
This is grandma art, wasn't it?
This is Daddy OG original art.
Oh, I thought grandma did this one.
Yeah, it's all blurring together. And the cool thing about this, and the biggest thing that I wanted to do, was to show the size comparison. So here's the Earth, here's the sun, and I actually measured out the width of the of the sun that we drew here and put a 2-scale drawing of the Earth next to it.
Right, it's just a tiny dot.
Little dot. You can see a little black
dot. It's like
dot.
the size of a toothpick.
And so that was really cool. It was really nice to get that size comparison. The kids were just amazed by that. They loved it.
They like to paint. Honestly, if we're going to ever bring out paint, because we don't paint a ton at house, or at least I don't paint a ton.
I was able to demarcate the sun half and half, and I said, you paint this half, you paint this half. Also, I think last week or the week before, I had a John Scalzi recommendation, but another one here that I have as well.
For adults.
For adults. Maybe even a high schooler if you have a high schooler coming along.
Totally high schooler can read this.
A little bit, there's some language, obviously some language in here. Scalzi does a lot of that. There's a little bit of sexuality in it as well, but not a big deal. Old Man's War. Now this is a trilogy or quadrilogy. There's like 4 books in this series. I've read them all. You could just start and stop here.
It's a really good book. So you actually recommended this one to me.
I did.
I read it. It's basically about people on Earth when they get to a certain age. Are they willing to have their consciousness implanted into...
They don't know.
I'm sorry.
So yes, so basically when you get old, you can retire to the military in space. And there's an entity that's essentially keeping... it's a human entity. But they are basically keeping Earth in like a reserve, and they let old people come up to join the military. And you think, well, why would an old person go into the military? Some genetic new bodies, avatar-y type of stuff.
It's really good.
Very good, very funny. First person book. Cool to read, awesome to listen to as well. I enjoyed them both. Scalzi does a really good job. He has that kind of this really kind of snarky humor in a lot of his books. I like that style. So
this isn't anything specifically to do with the sun, but it's a great space book. And we just want to
yeah.
kind of tell you what we're reading. And if you're interested in reading along too, I really dug this one. I think I got maybe halfway through the second book. I didn't get much further, but the first book, Old Man's War, really good.
Really good.
So we watched Lilo and Stitch. It came out on Disney Plus, the new, live action version.
It was very cute, very sweet.
It was very cute.
It kept the same story. It almost, again, it's another one of those like, Disney, what are you doing?
I thought it was super cute though. Our girls really, and I really enjoyed it.
The little girl was very sweet. She was good casting for her.
Yeah, I thought it was really great. So there wasn't something specific for kids about the sun, but for us, we watched Sunshine. And
Danny Boyle, greatness.
I didn't remember that takes a kind of horror-y turn, so I'm going to give you just a warning. I'm not going to spoiler it for you at all, but there's a horror turn to it. If
Great
that's
casting.
your jam.
Great casting. Michelle Yeoh, Cillian Murphy, a few others as well. Just an amazing cast.
Yeah, it was a really well-cast movie. It was enjoyable. It just, I'm not a huge horror person, so I was like, ooh.
Some of the visuals are just breathtaking. The images of the sun, the whole solar sail thing flying towards the sun, it was just awesome.
Yeah, there's it's good, but maybe not your jam if you're not into kind of space horror stuff.
This guy.
He was all in space horror.
And then we did From Earth to the Moon.
Right, so...
We tried that.
Well, so this is a series that was made by HBO way back when. I think we got it from the library, maybe. So we tried to watch it with the girls, but it's more of an adult watch or a high school watch. And it's not for anything that's really in the show. It's just... It's about what led up to the start of the Apollo missions, and then each mission is covered, or the major missions are covered in the series. So we started it, and it was just a bit too dry for our girls. They didn't get into it. We thought it was great. I was super fascinated. Yeah. So if you want to get more into that, I want to say it's maybe 8 or 10 parts. So we thought, oh, cool. If we started early, by the time we make it to the moon, then we could watch most of the series. We did not make it very far because the girls were like, this is not their jam.
They pulled the eject cord.
So I think if you have a middle schooler or up, or you want to just watch that, if you're not into space horror and you want to prepare to go to the moon separately, it was very fascinating.
This was great.
It was a mini-series done by Tom Hanks and just done really well. It talks about all the key players.
There's a post-Apollo 13 thing that he did. Very similar to like his Saving Private Ryan stuff that he did in the World War II stuff.
And then he did Band of Brothers. Yeah. So yeah, it's great. And it starts right at the beginning where Kennedy makes the commitment that we're going to go to the moon, and it's all the different players involved.
We will go to the moon in this decade.
Yeah, it was really good. So I wished we had gotten to watch more of it but our younger elementary kids were just not that into it. So check it out if you have time to do that. I think it could be streaming on HBO Max or find it at your local library. But it was really good.
Where are we going next week?
So we're going through the solar system now.
We're starting.
So we'll be doing Mercury and Venus next week.
Nice. See you then.